me just...
Pongo el micrófono. Where do I put the microphone?
Aguántalo like a microphone.
How do you do that?
Jesus Christ. Okay, we just came back from watching a double feature. We watched the Parasite. We watched Parasite, and after Parasite, we watched The Lighthouse. And I wanted to record myself with my brother ranting about the movies. So, Sebastian, my brethren, please tell me your thoughts on both movies.
I like them.
Care to elaborate?
No. David Lynch reference. But, well, I loved both movies.
Okay.
Yeah, but both of them are special in their own way. I'm gonna give them the same rating, a 5 out of 5, to both of them. But The Lighthouse left me with a longing impact since it was the last one we saw, and how it goes into the madness, and I loved it because I felt like a third person into the madness that was happening, obviously. And Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe's performance were amazing. And when I talk about Lighthouse, I was kind of surprised because not a lot of people are talking about it, especially now in awards season. They were talking about it back when with the film festivals, which everyone was hyped about it. But it's, if I'm not mistaken, it didn't even get nominated for any Golden Globe. And I don't think it'll get nominated for any Oscar, which it should. But
For which awards would you say that it deserves?
especially the performances, so Best Supporting Actor is obviously Willem Dafoe.
Elan Lovers. So you're saying that he deserves an award?
And Robert Pattinson, well, he... that one, I loved his performance, obviously. He's as great as always, especially since I've watched him in Good Time. He's a really good actor. But in this movie, I think that the one who shined the most was Willem Dafoe as Best Supporting Actor. And I think in a perfect world, he would Robert Pattinson would be nominated for Best Actor. But he wouldn't win it because there's been better performances this year, like Marriage Story or Joker, even though some people don't like Joker now.
Most people that don't like Joker agree that Joaquin Phoenix still deserves the Oscar for his performance.
Obviously.
Even if they don't like the movie. At least most of the people I know.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of people mention that, oh, he's just playing another lonely character, and I'm like, no. Even though his performance in Her is the best one he's ever done, obviously. But in Joker, he has such a depth to the character that it's just amazing. His performance alone is truly astounding.
Yeah, let's not dive deep into that because then we'll be talking about Joker.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Instead of the other movies that we watched.
So, yeah, I loved Lighthouse. And I loved Parasite, and as I said, both are great in their own way. Talking about Parasite, or do you want to talk about Lighthouse more?
Well, I think I can add more to The Lighthouse. One thing I loved about The Lighthouse is the fact that I have no idea what the fuck just happened. I literally have no idea what happened. I do have thoughts as to what happened. I personally, the movie seems to want me to think that one of them is crazy. I think both of them are fucking insane. One is probably schizophrenic, and the other is probably insane from being alone for so many years. And And I think the movie is as if the director read one of the H.P. Lovecraft short story and decided, I can do that. And not only did... what's the name of the director? I forgot.
Robert Eggers.
Even if...
The Witch.
I haven't seen The Witch yet. And I think he wanted to do an adaptation of Lovecraft without even doing an adaptation, because this is heavily inspired by Lovecraft, in my opinion. And not only that, it's almost as if I'm reading... It's something weird to say, but usually when Lovecraft writes a story, it's usually like someone writing a journal of something that happened, and the main protagonist is just reading that journal. And I feel like from watching this movie, it feels like I'm reading a journal of both of these people going insane on an island alone. That's how I felt it. And I honestly, there have been some movies that made me question my sanity. This one is like the most... This is the one that made me question my sanity the most, in my opinion, because I felt like I was going crazy with them. You would think in a movie like in The Shining that you would feel that way, but with this one is the one I felt like that the most, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like as I said, in this movie, it feels like you're one of the characters, like you're part of their insanity, even though it centralizes most into Robert Pattinson's character.
He's the main character, yeah.
Yeah, he's the protagonist. But I love that you're like the third person into the insanity that ensues. And the premise, as my brother said,
My brother.
it reminded me of an H.P. Lovecraft story. But I loved that it explored, because I've always been fascinated of things that happen in the sea, especially at lighthouses, which people go mad at because they've been months trapped there and they don't know what time has passed, if they've been there for just a few hours like they say in the trailer, or if they've been there for years or something, but they don't know how to recollect.
At first I thought it was only a month.
Oh yeah.
But then
they were like, oh,
we missed the boat.
Then they're like, oh, maybe it's been just a few days, and maybe
just a few hours. I have no idea how much time it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Robert Pattinson broke the clock. I don't know why. Is that symbolism? Maybe. I don't know.
And
I love it though.
I've always been fascinated with stories like that, and
ambiguous ones.
Not only ambiguous ones, but exploring the insanity of sailors back then with mermaids and whatnot, and well,
yeah, mermaids, because there was like this myth that mermaids lure sailors with their top part, because they look woman-like.
Exactly.
But then what they do is like I don't know if they eat them or eat their soul or something. I know that if they trap someone, they die. That's all I know. Mm-hmm. It's like a weird mythology thing.
Exactly. And in The Lighthouse, they explore that perfectly. I've always been, as I said, I've always liked that storytelling, and I've never seen a movie explore that personally. I don't know if there's other movies like The Lighthouse that explore that, and I feel like that seeing this movie, they finally did that, and I loved it. It's just like a movie perfect for me, I feel like, and especially because it reminded me. I don't know you remember Lemino's video about top 10 mysteries?
No.
Well, he mentions something like The Lighthouse, a story about a few sailors that were in a lighthouse. Well, they're not sailors, they're lightkeepers. And they were recollecting what was happening, and then a storm happened, and then they were saying like, "Oh, there's a storm brewing. I don't know how much time has it been and everything." And then 2 weeks later, they were like, "Storm stopped and everything is all right." And then they never knew about them. They just have that recollection, but they were like, there were no recorded storms in the area. So were the storms were all in their mind, or maybe was there ever even a storm at all?
Interested. Sorry, phone.
And I feel like The Lighthouse explored that, and I don't know if Robert Eggers knows that story.
Probably.
Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
It's probably an inspiration.
Maybe. And I love that The Lighthouse just did that, and I'm like, wow. I'm probably gonna rewatch this movie like a million times.
An H.P. Lovecraft story would have been if another character went into the island and just read the records that Willem Dafoe's character wrote.
Exactly.
And just reacts to what happened in the movie overall.
That's an H.P. Lovecraft story?
No, I'm saying that it would have been like one.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Is there any more that we're gonna say about Lighthouse? I have said all I've said.
Yeah, me too. Because as I said, I love the movie. I recommend it. It should get more awards. It probably won't, but it's truly.
It'll probably not get awards, but you should buy it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or watch it in theaters. Right now, it's in theaters and Fine Arts in Puerto Rico. So
yes,
spend your money on that, please. Yes. Spend your allowance.
It's so worth it. Like, and I love the aspect ratio. The aspect ratio. It reminded me a lot of A Ghost Story.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's not the same type of movie.
No, it's not.
But the aspect ratio reminded me a lot of that, and I've always wanted to watch more movies with that aspect ratio.
I think you're the only person that says this reminds me of Ghost Story,
just because of the aspect ratio.
To me, it just reminds me of the movie I have. The DVD of Call of Cthulhu that I have. That it's the same but silent.
Oh, okay. And
same aspect ratio, but a silent film.
And you mentioned that it reminded you of The Shining. No.
No, I said that. It's similar. That it's similar to The Shining in the sense that you go insane with. With the characters, but with The Shining, it's less. There's less of a possibility for you to feel like you're going mad with them, because the only one that's getting mad is actually Jack Nicholson's character. Yeah. But in this one, everyone's getting mad.
Exactly. And there were some similarities to The Shining, especially with the guy with the axe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And when... Is this a spoiler?
What do you mean?
Can we say spoilers?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, the guy with the axe, and then when Willem Dafoe's character hits him, the score sounded a lot like The Shining. When
I didn't notice that.
I know. It was like that.
Yeah.
That craziness that The Shining puts when
all that's left is like, ah!
Exactly. It reminded me when he killed I forgot that character, Dick's character. When that score hit exactly the same, and I loved it. I was like, whoa.
I will need to watch it again to
but it didn't do the zoom, because in The Shining it does a lot of zooms, and this one it obviously didn't. Mm-hmm. It was just the score. Mm-hmm. and the similarities with the hatchet, mm-hmm. the axe, and yeah, I love The Lighthouse. Yeah. Want to talk about more Parasite?
We didn't talk about Parasite, so yeah.
Well, let's talk about Parasite. It's trash. No, it's perfect. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get ready for someone to edit that.
Yeah, Parasite is truly, truly one of the best movies I've seen this year. Like, hands down. One of the best. If not the best. if I hadn't seen Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I'm now split right in the middle. But Parasite is just I one of the few things that I feel like nobody talks about Parasite is the genre blending. Because at one moment I was like laughing, and obviously everyone was laughing, and then at the other moment the transitions with the tonal shifts that the movie does are perfectly executed.
Yeah.
Because at one moment I'm laughing, and then the other I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I didn't feel whiplashed.
Exactly.
Yes, and it's funny because I'm someone that watches a lot of Korean TV shows, and usually Korean TV shows have tone shifts like that, but they're out of nowhere. Like 1 second,
Exactly.
at 1 second, these two characters pull a funny, like almost Three Stooges kind of funny, whoop, 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 and then out of nowhere, I have cancer, and it's like,
That
excuse
reminded
me?
me of Christmas with the Cranks.
Something like that. It's literally something like that. The tonal shifts are weird, and this one it was done so very perfectly, and it's not surprising because he did it the same thing with Snowpiercer.
Well, I haven't
And-
seen any other Bong Joon-ho movie except Mother,
Yeah.
which I loved.
And I loved Snowpiercer, which is the only other movie I've seen of his. One thing I wanted to add is that one thing that Parasite did is that it's one of, I mean, obviously most movies have good scripts, but this one, I don't know why, but the script of, I don't know, on paper you would think that this story wouldn't work,
Yeah.
but somehow it did. I don't know how, but somehow the script it worked. I don't know how Bong did it, but he fucking did it.
Yeah. Him and another writer were credited.
Yeah, but he was the one who did like most
Obviously.
director, writer, producer.
Exactly.
What was left that star? Like Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
it's insane. This is clever writing at its best.
Yeah, when you explain it on the brass tacks, I feel like in terms of plot, I feel like people would be like, "Oh, this movie, like, it's just bad."
This is a comedy.
This,
People
yeah,
are
a
gonna
comedy.
think it's a comedy.
Exactly. Wait,
Because if you explain the scene where they were sneaking out of the house, you would think, oh, that's a comedy. But really, it's not funny because when they were sneaking out of the house, you're anxious the whole time.
Yes.
But when you explain it through writing, it's actually like out of context because you needed the silence and the visuals to explain the intensity of the scene of them escaping the house, which is by far the most intense scene of the movie for me. And the ending felt like, I don't know how, but the ending to me felt like a Game of Thrones episode.
Really?
You know how it all went down and shit hit the fan. It's in a glorious way.
Oh, you mean like the third act?
Yeah, the third act.
Yeah, I thought you were referring to the.
Oh, okay, yeah. I meant the final, the third act. Yeah, when all the when the ball dropped, when shit hit the fan, it was like a Game of Thrones episode. It reminded me of the either the red wedding or the purple wedding from the Game of Thrones because of the fact that all of this happened.
Okay, now I understand where you're getting at.
Yeah, everything happened in a party. People died. Everyone left. It's so fucking.
It was shocking. Like
It was shocking. It was,
but it was earned. That's why I loved it.
It was shocking. It was over the top. It was everything. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. I think it was purposefully over the top because everything that happens here is almost over the top. At first, I thought that the movie was gonna be about. Because remember, the only reason they had that job in that house is because of this dude that was like, "Yeah, I'm leaving. I want you to work at that house."
If I'm not
And I really thought that he trapped them. And it was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make them work with these crazy ass families." And I really thought that they were just an insane family that had like, I don't know, like victims in their basement or some shit.
Me too.
But really, it's just that it's nothing like that. But it's still shocking and crazy and intense.
You never know where it's going. That's why I love it. And
the same happened when I watched Snowpiercer because I did not know where the story was going. Did not know what the fuck's gonna happen. I knew that something was gonna. There was gonna be like a big plot twist or something.
I have to watch that one.
Yeah, because the thing is that Snowpiercer is great because the main character, you would think, especially because it's Chris Evans, this man is decent. He's a great man. But then you learn about his past, and it's like, oh, he was horrible. Because he was actually a horrible human being. You never get to see that, but he tells you like, yeah, I'm ashamed of my past and all that stuff. And it's almost like with Joel from The Last of Us.
Oh,
Except that
Joel
Joel is more he doesn't plain out say it like how his past was, but
yeah.
Chris Evans like tells you, yeah, I was this, I did this, and like you sort of question like whether you should like him or not at times.
Oh yeah. With Joel, it's you just know him.
You just know that his past was fucked, but
exactly
with
he was already a good man before.
But with Chris Evans, he tells you that he was a fucked up person. And when he tells you that, you kind of have an opportunity to question whether you should like him or not. Mm. And with this one, it's not like that, but I just wanted to mention that.
Wanted to mention another Bong Joon-ho movie.
Yeah, because Snowpiercer is amazing.
Yes, but Parasite, I loved it so much. And there was something about the transitions and the directorial style that made me feel like maybe this might be. I mean, I have already watched this director's masterpiece. Like, I'm always open to seeing him, seeing other directors do other movies, like with Ridley Scott. Even though Blade Runner and Alien are his best movies and will always be his best movies, maybe see more movies. And with this one with Bong Joon-ho, I feel like I've already with Parasite, it's just his best movie overall. Like this is already gonna define him as a filmmaker. But I would love to see more of his movies, and I'm open to seeing other ones that people have told me, like The Host and Memories of Murder, because I already loved Mother. And if I'm not mistaken, he's friends with Park Chan-wook, which is the director of Oldboy, one of the best movies ever made. I love that movie, but yeah. And Parasite is just up there with Oldboy, with that upper echelon. Yes. Do you have anything other to say with Parasite?
No, I don't. I think I'm gonna go in more details with my Letterboxd review, which
yeah, probably.
Which the link will be in the description below.
Yeah, Letterboxd, I just majorly put like, yeah, the hype is real.
Oh, you already posted your review?
Yeah, but I didn't go in depth. I just said like the hype is real.
I take way too long with my reviews, like way too long.
I sometimes do, but I just wanted to talk about this one now because I don't feel like I can. Like, Parasite left me speechless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I feel like I can't talk about it yet until I've slept on it.
That's how I feel when we watched the.
That's why I just logged it and I just put like the hype is real. Watch it. Basically, I just put.
That's how I feel when we watch that Ethan Hawke movie.
First Reformed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've slept on it for months and I still don't know what to think about the movie. I mean, I love it, but I don't know what to write about. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But with Parasite, with Parasite, I know it's a fucking great movie. I know that the writing is amazing. I know that Bong did a stupendous amount of visual language with his camera work.
Yes.
And it's just a fucking great movie, and the hype is fucking real.
And the pace is so consistent. Like, it never like stays at one scene. No, with one shot. Like in other movies I've seen recently, like The Lighthouse, which I admire, that is one of the when the insanity ensues, the shot always like when he's putting forgot the name, the coals in the fire. Well, it's just one shot of him doing that for like 1 minute or something. But with Parasite, I feel like it was consistent. I was like, oh, here's a shot about this. Pay attention. Yes. And then move on.
Okay.
Yes. Here's a shot about this.
It's always,
pay attention.
So you're saying
cutting when it's necessary.
So you're saying that it's always fast paced and it never slows down.
Exactly. And that's what I admire about it.
But the only time
I wouldn't add anything, and I wouldn't cut anything.
The only thing that's where it slowed down was when they almost got caught in the house.
When they almost got... Oh, yeah.
That was the only time it slowed down. And I was like, please, go fast. I don't want this. But
it was necessary. That's
I know it was necessary, but I was like, please stop. I feel anxious. Stop. Yes.
And all of the time, I was like... that moment was so perfect. Like, perfectly executed.
Yeah.
I don't know how old is Bong Joon-ho, but I feel like he already has that filmmaker trait that Martin Scorsese. Well, not Martin Scorsese that much, because Martin Scorsese with The Irishman, he's just like 3 hours. Fuck it, like I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah. But with Bong Joon-ho, I feel like he's starting to get there. Like he's
already there, in my opinion.
Yes,
he's already there. Yeah, he made a comic book movie that goes in par with even the best. I think it's better than most Marvel movies.
Yes,
and it has great special effects. It has amazing themes, and I know he could do a comic book movie if he wanted to. He did. Now he literally did essentially an Oscar bait movie, and it worked. But it worked in such a way that supersedes most Oscar movies, because everyone is talking about this movie in such a crazy way. Because
this is getting best foreign language for sure.
If it doesn't,
at least the nomination.
If it doesn't, it would be weird, because I've never seen so much hype for a foreign film since Roma.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is that about this one, Bong managed to talk about themes that were specific to South Korea, but those themes are at universal. The same time universal.
Yes.
Because not, I mean, obviously countries have their own social problems, but the problems that he tries to shed light to in this movie are literally the problems with most countries. And that's why a lot of people love it, because it's extremely relatable.
That's a perfect example with the classism.
Yeah.
And I love that the parallels. I'm just so crazy about that scene.
Oh yeah.
With the parallels where they're sleeping with
thousands of people.
Thousands of people
at a basketball court.
Yes, and then you just see the rich people cutting to them like, let me just choose from the millions of clothing I have, and then they're just like fighting for clothing, like, oh wait a minute, I was gonna get that dress and everything. And then when they call him, they're like, oh, it's been a drag of a day, and that can you come by?
And the fact that that family loves rainy days, and I love rainy days.
Oh yeah.
But then a rainy day for them is horrible, because it means floods.
Exactly.
And also the fact that I just threw this party together last minute, and everybody's like,
everyone looks perfect. Like basically the protagonist, he was like, this is a casual party.
I don't know. I don't want to know how it would have been if it was planned.
Yeah, exactly. If it was planned like for a month.
Just last minute.
Last minute.
Okay, sure.
I just loved it so much, Parasite.
I don't think I have any more to add.
Yeah, just watch it. Like, one thing I wish that I watched it with English subtitles. Even though I don't mind, I'm a Spanish speaker, so obviously it's my first language.
Yeah, but that's not the movie's fault, to be honest.
Exactly.
I mean, we could have had the English speaking, the English subtitles a long time ago, but we live here, and Nobody's gonna see that except you and me and a few other people.
Exactly. It makes it more accessible
So yeah.
for other people in our
Yeah.
country. And wow,
Your only complaint literally has nothing to do with the movie. So in
it's
other
not
words,
even a complaint.
it's perfect.
It's not even a complaint. I just wanted to add because I wish I would have watched it in English subtitles, but it's just I just had to mention it because I was like, wow, this movie's so perfect.
For sure.
And yeah, we watched both cinema.
Yeah, we ate good tonight. So yeah, so we're done talking about it. There's gonna be links for his letterbox and his Twitter. There's gonna be links from my Twitter, my letterbox. A lot of links are gonna be in the description. Please click them. Please like this video also and
Click
share
'em.
it. Smash that like button.
Smash that subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Exactly.
Please.
Please.
Yeah. Oh. Signing off.
Oh, shit.